Hey guys, it's Becky. Welcome back to my channel. I'm excited for today's video because I thought I was done with all my Christmas content, which I did an early Christmas planning video. I did a slow living Christmas video, and I did all my gift guide videos, which you guys have already seen. If you haven't, I'll link those for you. But I had another idea pop up in my mind that I was like, well, maybe I won't share it because I've talked about things like this in the past, but I thought it'd be really fun to kind of combine two different video ideas. And one of them is what we're doing for or planning to do for our Christmas winter break bucket list. I've talked about bucket lists before, how I make one with the girls every summer, every fall, and every Christmas winter break season. And then of course now my oldest daughter's boyfriend is included, so I ask him what he wants to do too and try to include what he wants to do as much as possible. So I have that as a separate video idea, and I was like, well, I don't know if people would want to see that or not, but I thought I would combine that with what I'm planning to do over Christmas and winter break from homeschooling as a homeschool mom, a stay-at-home mom, a work-at-home mom, balancing doing things that are fun and making time for my family and making time for, you know, intentional things and soaking in as much of the Christmas season and winter as possible, but also being productive. Since we're not going to be doing homeschool, I'll have a little bit more time on my hands to work on a few little projects that I want to do. And it really is a balance for me, as it is, I'm sure you guys as well. Balancing doing all the things that you want to do with your family and that you want to do for yourself, and making time, especially at Christmas time, for all those different traditions and fun things you like to do. Balancing that and savoring the season with being productive and all the things that you need to do on a daily basis, things you need to do maybe because it is the holidays and you have extra stuff to do, like Christmas cards, maybe cleaning, all that stuff. Put the two together and show you how practically I'm planning to be peaceful and productive over the holiday season. So smushing those two ideas together, I hope it'll be helpful. I'm going to start with my Christmas winter break to-do list of things I want to get done when we're not homeschooling, and then I'll finish up with our Christmas/winter bucket list that I have worked on with both girls and my daughter's boyfriend, of things that they want to do, and of course me and my husband too, but things that we all want to do things together and savor the season. So if you want to see my productive and peaceful plans for Christmas and wintertime, then stay tuned. So I'm going to start off with my plan of things to do, a little bit of extra cleaning and projects to do over a homeschool break. Keeping in mind that it is a struggle for me to relax. I am one of those people that has a really hard time not overscheduling things, not overextending myself beyond what I can actually get done. And it is really hard for me, and I've talked a lot about on my channel, especially the latter half of this year, well, I guess starting in the spring too, talking a lot about slower living, prioritizing peace and a slower lifestyle, trying to anyway. Definitely focusing on being intentional, which that is something I feel like I've always been really good at, but really honing in on being intentional, especially with my life the way it is now, because right now we still have both girls at home. But you know, my oldest is 19, almost 20. Our youngest is 13, and so it's like time is slipping by, things are changing, and I want to savor as much as I can the time that they're both home with the life that we have now. So keeping that in mind, we are taking a 19-day Christmas break, which sounds maybe like a lot to some people. I don't really know what public schools do anymore. We don't public school, so I don't know. I don't know if that's a lot or a little, but it never is enough. But it does seem like sometimes enough that I can do all this stuff, but then when the day-to-day comes and I'm like doing normal life things, I'm doing normal responsibilities, having normal appointments, places to go, things to do, combined with Christmas activities, which, like I said, I'll share that bucket list at the end of this video, it really doesn't leave a whole lot of time for extra projects. So I really had to be really careful not to overplan and overextend myself with this list. So keep that in mind. This is me trying really hard to not put too many things on the to-do list that's over and above what I would do on a daily basis. So first thing is, I need to straighten the pantry. It's not a huge project. It's already fairly organized. I did a video about it a long time ago, and it has stayed fairly organized over the years. But I need to zhuzh it a little bit, especially as wintertime is coming and I'm stocking up on a little bit more foods just to make sure we have enough in case we have a power outage or it snows or there's a shortage or whatever. I just need to go through there and kind of really straighten that up, utilize the space, and make sure it's, you know, looking its best and working for me its best. And then also kind of combined with that is we do tend to get some items in bulk. So I have a 20-pound bag of rice right now. I have 25 pounds of oats that are coming that I need to vacuum seal, as well as yesterday went to Costco and bought a bunch of chicken, which we do get all of our meat from Costco. So chicken, turkey, and beef, I need to specifically vacuum seal all the chicken, which that actually will be done this week. That'll be done before Christmas break even happens. But it's kind of along those lines of making sure that if I'm buying these bulk foods, that I'm taking the extra step to vacuum seal them, make sure they're preserved and getting like no bugs, no dust, no dirt. So I need to do that, the rice and the oats especially. I would like to make protein oat flour pancakes. My oldest daughter actually is allergic to wheat. And we use a lot of oats. They eat oatmeal a lot, but I found a recipe where you can use oat flour instead of conventional flour to make pancakes. So I'd like to do that since I have a little bit more time on my hands, or I will. And then also every break, whether it's Christmas or summer break, I take that time to do a nice little bit of a deeper cleaning of the homeschool room. The biggest deep clean gets done in the summer, but just straighten things up, you know, go through papers, sort, make sure everything's ready so that when we come back from Christmas break and we're ready to start the second half of our school year, that everything is prepared. I've actually started purchasing or at least selecting curriculum for next school year, which sounds crazy, but I like to try to be ahead of the game that way, especially if I see a sale, which there was just a sale at christianbook.com. So I got my youngest daughter's science curriculum. I've got some other stuff coming. So just making sure that the homeschool room and my desk, which are in the same room, are, you know, straightened, cleaned, organized. And along with that, I want to back up pictures and videos from my phone and my husband's phone. This is something I do every couple months, but I especially like to do it before Christmas if possible. So that way when we have all the extra Christmas video and pictures, I'm not like just bogging myself down with like tons of footage. So clearing out my phone, backing all that stuff up, I back everything up to disk, and then I back that up to an external hard drive, and then my external hard drive is backed up to a cloud backup system. So I have a couple different ways that I'm making sure that these family memories, videos, pictures are being preserved and protected, because it's super important to me. I also would like to finish reading the book that I'm reading. I'm actually reading a book and I'm doing a workbook. So the one workbook is like a self-love kind of looking inward workbook that I'm going through. And the other book is a marriage book, just because I feel like it doesn't matter how many years you're married. We've been married 20 years now. It doesn't really matter how many years you've been married. There's always things you can do to learn more about yourself and the relationship, learn more about your spouse and how you can work together better. So I'm reading that. I would like to finish both of those books before Christmas break is over. I would also like to schedule and have my next therapy session. I talked about this in my recent video, 23 new things that I did in 2023. Make sure you check that out if you haven't. I did talk about the journey that I'm kind of on right now of trying to figure out like why I do the things that I do, how can I improve myself, how can I make my mental health better, how can I avoid these pitfalls that I tend to fall into, or these spiraling things that I tend to fall into when I have like these negative thoughts or feelings that make me feel bad about myself. You know, different things like that. And I mentioned in that video, I'm like, is this a midlife crisis? And I actually mentioned that to my therapist, and she's like, no, I don't think so. I think you're just really starting to look a lot more inward and questioning why I do the things that I do, why I have the patterns that I do, whether they're negative or positive. And that self-love workbook that I'm going through kind of goes along with this, but then also talking to my therapist. And I did mention in that video, you don't have to be in a really bad place to benefit from talking to a therapist. So I've had 2 phone sessions with her, and then we chat back and forth through the BetterHelp app, which I really have enjoyed. So I want to try to at least schedule one more of those during the break. I don't see her on a like weekly basis. I just kind of talk to her when I feel like the chat feature maybe is what I want to say is a little bit too much for the chat feature option that they have. So we'll maybe schedule another one of those. And I had written this down, schedule my next massage. I've actually scheduled it since I wrote that down, and as I film this, I have one booked, not this week, but next week. So, because I'd gotten a gift card, and then I hadn't taken the time to go and do it, because it's one of those things that like, it's one reason I don't get my nails done or anything like that, because I don't like having to have appointments all the time of places to be, even if they're nice appointments and I like the result. I don't really like having to be somewhere at a specific time if I don't have to be. And as a typical mom, I think a lot of us tend to push those appointments that are for you to the back burner. But anyway, I scheduled that massage. I plan on going to that just to use that gift card and make sure I don't forget that I have it, but also to take a little bit of the stress off, kind of a treat to myself for finishing the first half of the school year, leading into the holidays. You know, things get kind of stressful, so trying to relax and be a little bit more intentional with my self-care. So I want to do that. I should have mentioned this earlier. Speaking of therapy, my therapist mentioned a game called We're Not Just Strangers, and they have a couple different versions. I actually purchased one version and realized that I've got the wrong one. I was supposed to get the family version, but basically it's evidently a card game that you play with your family that encourages you guys to talk to each other about things on a deeper level. And you know, I feel like me and my girls especially are super close because we do homeschool. My oldest has been homeschooled since the middle of 4th grade. My youngest has always been homeschooled, and I feel like being a stay-at-home mom, even though I do work for YouTube from home, I feel like I'm here and I'm accessible a lot more than a lot of other mothers are. And even then, I feel like me and my girls are closer than a lot of moms and daughters are. But even then, I still feel like there's things that maybe you don't talk about on a daily basis. Maybe you don't feel comfortable talking about it. Maybe you don't know how to approach a certain subject. And I know with my husband, especially because he is the primary breadwinner and he is gone 12 hours a day, he's here even less to have those conversations. So I figured it was going to be a nice way, and she did suggest this, a nice way for us to spend intentional family time talking about things on a deeper level that maybe we wouldn't get to or talk to, or maybe we wouldn't know how to approach a certain subject, bring it up. This game hopefully will do that. So I would like to play that at least once, see if we like it, if it does well with us. And if it does, to continue to play it, because I feel like even when you live with people, sometimes you know them even less, if that makes sense. So I want to play that. I also want to schedule time to do nothing. As much as I'm into to-do lists and I'm very organized and like proactive and planning things, and if anything gets done in the family, it's because I've planned it. So as much as I like to do that and I thrive on that, I want to also schedule time to do nothing. Some of the best conversations and most fun things we have done as a family have been when we didn't have anything specific planned. So it's kind of ironic considering I'm going to share our bucket list where it is things we are planning. There's also something to be said for not planning anything. That's something I want to think about, and then also leading into prioritizing our bucket list, because those are things that the girls and my daughter's boyfriend and my husband and I want to do, especially for the holidays. Not to say that all these things can only be done at Christmas break, because there are some things that are going to happen or could happen all winter, at any point in the winter. But I want to make sure that while I am scheduling time for nothing, I do want to make sure we do have to be somewhat intentional to make some of these things happen. It maybe involves buying tickets. It might involve going out of town, which a lot of these things do because we don't really live anywhere that has anything exciting. So that's kind of leading me into the second part of this video, which is our Christmas break / winter bucket list. Now, some of these things we've already done. We already went ice skating. The girls have gone ice skating a lot over the years, and especially at winter time is something we tend to do, obviously. Indoor ice skating. But I had not ice skated since I was 18 years old. So it's been a very, very long time. I'm 43. So it's been a very long time since I've been on skates. Whenever we took the girls before, I would just kind of sit and watch. You know, I've been a spectator of our family's life a lot because, as I mentioned in that 23 things video, I'm very set in my ways. I'm very timid about like looking stupid or not knowing how to do something or messing something up. And so that translates a lot into activities that my family will do that I don't do. I'll go with you, I'll be happy to take you, I'll love you, and I'll watch and I'll wave and I'll video and take pictures, but I'm not probably gonna do some of those things with you. And that's why I made that video, and that's why I've been trying to make myself get out of that box, because I don't wanna be a spectator forever for everything. It's not to say that I can't say no to some things, but I'm trying to say yes more often. So ice skating was something we did. We also did Lights Under Louisville, which we've never done before. And we usually go to Louisville for a lot of things because they tend to have things that are fun to do and it's not terribly far away. So we did Lights Under Louisville, which was fun. Basically, you're underground in a cave system. I believe it's a man-made cave system, but they have everything under there is decorated with Christmas lights and music, and it's fun. It was really fun. And while we were up there, we went to a restaurant that my daughter's boyfriend wanted to go to. Was a little scary. It was kind of a sketchy part of town, and the food looked really suspicious. So we did not eat. Me and the girls, my husband and my daughter's boyfriend ate, and they said it was amazing, but I was not willing to try that. So that's one of those things I did say no to, and I don't have a problem with that. But we went happily and took them and waited while they ate, and I was very happy they liked their food. So we did that. There's some basic things on here too, like making Christmas cookies. We always do that. My daughter's boyfriend wants to make Christmas pie. I've never made pie, but whatever Christmas pie is, he's like, well, whatever kind of pie you want, so we'll see. We always do typical things like that, getting hot chocolate, looking at Christmas lights. Every year we paint Christmas ornaments, so I got those purchased so we can paint them. And then also every year we pick out a family ornament, which my mom actually started this tradition with me and my brother. So she would buy 3 of the same ornament every year. And so the process or the thought behind that was one ornament would go on the tree, and then my brother and I had a tree in our room. So all the ornaments matched, and when we moved out, we would have a collection of ornaments already each year a different ornament, but something that we kind of have that memory attached to, of like, that was the year we got, you know, the reindeer ornament. That was the year we got the snowman or whatever. And so she started that tradition, and I've done it with the girls every year. So we already did pick out this year's ornament. So we got 3 of those. One thing that the girls mentioned, or my youngest especially, I think she wanted to have a late night gaming session. So she and my oldest daughter and my oldest daughter's boyfriend are very into video games. They like Minecraft. I like a bunch of different things. My oldest daughter likes Tears of the Kingdom. They play Path of Titans, which is like a dinosaur game. So they wanted to have like a stay up late gaming night. And I'm not really into video games, but during Christmas break, if she, you know, my youngest wants to stay up late, she's not gonna have school the next day. So if they want to stay up late and play video games, that's something that they can do. So that's on the list. Also, family game night was one of my daughter's requests. So we can play whatever. She didn't specify a game. We have a Christmas categories game that I showed in a previous video. We just have a ton of games. We have a ton of games, so that won't be a problem. I also want to finish Pilgrim's Progress. I will try to remember to link this book. It's an amazing book. This one's called Little Pilgrim's Progress. So it's a children's retelling of the classic Pilgrim's Progress from, like, I don't know, the 1600s or something. But it's a really, really good book, and it's an allegory for the Christian journey. And I read it to my youngest when my oldest was at work. Like, we would wait to pick her up from work. I would read it to her, and I wanted to read it to my oldest and her boyfriend. So I'm rereading it now to the 3 of them, and I would like to finish that because it's hard to find time to like sit down and read when they're all there. So I want to finish that. One of the things on my list to do that I was hoping to get done, so I could include it in the 23 things I did in 2023 video, but I didn't do it yet. They're having a Christmas event coming up soon, so I'm thinking maybe I'll try to go to that, and then I can add that to the list of not only things to check off the bucket list, but also add it to my list for 2024 of things that I'm doing that I've never done before or that I haven't done in a very long time that are out of my comfort zone. So that's on the list. And then also trying to plan a date night with my husband. We are so bad at this. I mean, it is so bad. We never, ever go out together. Maybe the grocery store, or yesterday we went to Costco, but like to go out and do things together, we are so bad about that. And it's really ridiculous, especially considering now that the kids are old enough to stay home by themselves. There's no reason why we could not make this a better priority, but we're just bad at it. So I have that on the list. I know specifically where we would like to go. We've talked about it, we've agreed on it. We're actually supposed to go on, not tomorrow, but day after tomorrow. So we'll see, hopefully nothing comes up, we can actually do that. And then I also like to try to take each girl out on a date. I do that periodically all throughout the year, so not just Christmas time, but especially at Christmas time, I would like to take each girl out and do something fun, just dedicated one-on-one time with each of them. I think my oldest daughter would like to go thrifting. My youngest daughter really likes to go out and like try desserts and stuff, so we might go to Crumble Cookie or something, but just taking that time to spend a little bit of time with each of them on a one-on-one basis I think is nice. And it's not something that I feel like, at least in our situation, my oldest daughter still likes that. Even though she's 19, you know, she still enjoys that time that we can do things together, just me and her. So that is the plan. That's our bucket list. That's my list of things that I would like to do over the Christmas holiday, Christmas break from homeschooling. I feel like I've struck a good balance between planning and being intentional, not planning so we have time for life to just happen and enjoy, and then also trying to be productive, because it really is, I do really feel like, and I'm sure if you're a mom and you're watching this, you probably feel the same way. You're constantly trying to like put things on the scale and like trying to keep them even. And sometimes you're really good at it and you've got it down pat, and other times you're just like all over the place. So I'm trying really hard to focus and center and really think about what I want to do, what we need to do, and what else can get, you know, can be done later. So I hope this video encouraged you and it gave you some ideas of things that you can do with your family over the Christmas winter break. Things that maybe you can do if your kids are off school, whether you homeschool or they're public schooled, but you'll still have more time probably on your hands to do things around the house. So being productive, making a list, don't make it too long. Like I said, I really had to rein myself in because I had a list a mile long of things that I wanted to get done, but I really tried to boil it down to things that I knew I could get done on a relatively short time span, you know, but still have time for all the fun things that I want to do and time to just relax. So I feel like it's going to be a good balance. We'll see how much of it gets done. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video and encouraged you, motivated you, and it took you and gave you another glimpse into this journey that I'm on that I mentioned in that 23 things video. I am really on a journey right now to figure out more about myself, how I can make myself better, how I can improve my relationships, how I can improve my relationship with God. All of these things I'm really on I really have had a very pivotal year this year. I feel like a lot of things are changing within me, and I'm trying really hard to learn and grow and push myself to learn and grow, because it can be very easy to just stay stagnant, which is pretty much what I had done up to this point. So hope you enjoyed the video. I will link my gift guide playlist for you, the gift idea videos from this year and every year previous for the girls' Christmas, Easter, and birthdays, as well as a few men's and women's gift guides are in that video playlist. I will also link my slow living playlist, that Christmas video, and any other slow living, intentional living videos I've made are in that playlist. So I hope that'll be helpful to you guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Leave me a snowflake or a Christmas tree in the comments if you want, so that I know you enjoyed it and you'd like to see more videos like this. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.